Nicki Minaj is very talented and a horrible human being. I say that full chest because of not just who she married, but also her financial support paying the legal bills of her convicted PDF file brother, who's currently behind bars. He's free and a stain on her existence. Husband and baby daddy. What a winner. And now, the very best female rapper of all time has been accused by her former manager of assaulting him. And I believe it. It seems very credible to me that Nicki Minaj would be violent and a diva that explodes. A lawsuit was just filed today against Minaj by Brandon Garrett, who worked for her as a day-to-day manager on her tour last year. He is claiming assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. It all went down at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit on April the 21st. Brandon was called to Nicki's dressing room backstage that day, and he was confronted because Brandon had another tour employee go pick up some prescription meds for her. That was hospitality manager Luke Montgomery, okay? Remember those names. Brandon, the guy suing her, and Luke, another employee, all right? Brandon was the day-to-day manager. Luke was the hospitality manager. Actually, no need to even remember the names. I'm going to simplify it for you. The lawsuit states that the guy suing her was asked why the other tour employee was picking up prescriptions on Nicki's behalf and not the day-to-day manager as she had requested. The day-to-day manager, who is suing her, responded that he had the other employee pick up a prescription in the past because Nicki wanted it immediately. But the day-to-day manager was occupied at the venue with Nicki in the quick change room during a performance because one of his responsibilities was helping Nicki with dressing during performances. Follow? Okay. Well, Nicki was not having that, and she, quote, became visibly upset and angrily screamed at her day-to-day manager, yelling at him, quote, "Are you effing crazy having him pick up my prescription? You have lost your effing mind, and if my husband was here, he would knock out your effing teeth. You're a dead man walking. You just effed up your whole life, and you will never be anyone. I'll make sure of it." All right, she didn't laugh, but I imagined that in my head. According to the lawsuit, Nicki then began yelling even more, asking him for details about what kind of prescription was picked up. But when the day-to-day manager couldn't remember, Nicki allegedly screamed at him to look through his phone until he finds it. When neither of these two guys could answer Nicki's questions, the suit says that the rapper then asked to see Mr. Montgomery's, oh God, which one's this one? Okay, Nicki asked for the cell phone of the guy who went to pick up the prescription, who is the hospitality manager, not the one suing her. She wanted to read the last text messages between the two of them. And then when the cell phone was offered to her to read, Nicki instead got very close to the guy's suing her face while continuing to yell. That's when things escalated, when she got real close, and Nicki open-handedly struck her day-to-day manager on the right side of his face, causing his head to swing backwards as his hat flew off his head. At that point, it is claimed that several of Minaj's security team members swarmed in close to them both before the rapper allegedly struck him on the right wrist, knocking the documents in plaintiff's hand onto the floor. Okay. Following this brouhaha, he was told to leave the room, and he ran to the nearest restroom and locked himself inside for hours, calling his fiancée to inform him what happened. Oh, he's one of us. At this point, plaintiff's wrist was throbbing and his face was sore, but he stayed in the restroom because he was terrified and feared for his safety. The following day, he was informed that he would not be riding the bus from Detroit to Chicago. The suit says that he ended up taking a flight to Chicago and contacted the Chicago Police Department to file a police report and request a police escort back to his hotel because he feared for his safety and did not know if his belongings had been removed or tampered with. Once he got back to his hotel room, he stayed there for the next couple of days because he was fearful and traumatized over the altercation. He later flew back to Detroit to file a formal police report there. Nicki's lawyer has responded to this lawsuit saying, quote, "At this time, no complaint has been served upon Mrs. Petty, and therefore we are unaware of the specific allegations. However, if the lawsuit is as reported, it is completely false and frivolous. We are confident that the matter brought by this ex-assistant will be resolved swiftly in Mrs. Petty's favor." I doubt that. I think she will actually end up paying this guy something to make this go away, because that's how lawsuits work. It'll be cheaper for her to pay the former day-to-day manager something than fight this out in court. In all likelihood, the former day-to-day manager got a lawyer who agreed to represent him for free in exchange for getting probably like 50% of whatever payout she offers. The legal system, rich people problems. Thoughts on this all? Let me know in the comment section.